We've got a few minutes left. We'll do Tickled.
Yeah, let's do Tickled. So
we saw this straight after Chelsea Leader, so already feeling quite unsettled.
I could not really believe that this was a thing when I saw it. I honestly thought this was going to be a parody when I saw the trailer. I did not believe this was actually a thing. So directed by David Farrier and Dylan Reeve. Basically, David Farrier in New Zealand, he's sort of like an entertainment correspondent. He goes and looks at the weird and wonderful things in the world. Yeah. And he stumbled across this bizarre sort of competitive endurance tickling, that's the term they give it, for online, where young men appeared out and dressed in sports gear to tie up and tickle each other. And as any good journalist would, when you're looking for extreme things like this, he sent out an email to the company Jane O'Brien Media, who was running this, and asking for an interview, and he gets a reply back with all sorts of homophobic slang and homophobic just insults, personal threats.
Very derogatory, yes.
And as you'd expect, he gets gripped by this, and that sort of leads him down the rabbit hole and into this extreme world where nothing is as it seems and everything is surreal. And yeah, that's just, I don't really want to give away much more because
this is
it's a trip down to hell by the way of endurance tickling.
I think the fact that we've seen the trailer twice kind of it gives a lot away.
And
kind of my feeling towards it was, yes, it's kind of amusing because it's tickling, and you know the sort of the joke that he makes is that, like, you know, they make fun of him being gay, but isn't the sport kind of a bit gay? But I think if you're gonna watch it, which I think you definitely should, don't watch the trailer, don't read about it, don't read anything about it, because they go in completely blind and let it all unfold. I think watching the trailer is, you already know too much, because I didn't find it funny like people are saying it is. Like, it's not funny. It is just from start to finish horrifying. We were going to see a film straight after. We were going to see Court, and I couldn't. I cancelled the tickets and I went home. I couldn't do it. And then I got home and it was on TV. They had it on Channel 4 News. I couldn't get away from it. Of course, I've done so much reading on it because it's so bizarre.
It's insanely
horrible.
It's insanely good. Like, from start to finish, you just grip, because you never really know what direction it's going to go, and by the end, it does get extremely dark. But I was crying with laughter. Like, I think it's just so absurd. Like, you cannot believe this is a thing.
I think it's funny for a little. It's funny for a little while, and then the
everything that's going on, but it's like deadly serious. Like, how we're watching a man unveil a dark conspiracy world about tickling.
Like,
yeah, it's absurdly funny. I've never had a feeling with a documentary before where I've literally just felt ultimately like there's a thing for everything. There's always something. But yeah, as you do go further down the rabbit hole, it does get very dark. But yeah, very intriguing documentary, and I'd highly recommend it to anybody.
I admire the stance of the filmmakers. I think because the temptation here would be sort of ridicule fetishism as a whole, which I don't think it does. No. Because, I mean, for those who aren't familiar, certainly we're not partaking, not that I'm aware of anyway, not that you've told us. Fetishes, everyone's got their own little thing.
Yeah, everyone's got a little thing.
But the temptation would be to take the mick, but it does show both sides, doesn't it? Because it shows you the sort of cleaner side of the tickling world, where it is just sort of
which is fine.
You know, a pornographic sort of thing. It's not to the extent of the sort of labyrinth of deceit and horror that is competitive endurance tickling. I mean, it's very Louis Theroux, isn't it? It's very intrusive. I think, particularly towards the end, they're literally intercepting people on the road. They're staking out people and watching them and waiting for them to come out to talk to them. It's
as it goes on, it sort of just unveils that web of lies, deception, and I don't even want and power players. You know, especially there's keywords that. But to say it anymore would really just sort of unravel the power that it has, because it's at the same time the most absurdly hilarious but also deeply troubling documentary that I've seen in a long, long time, or film in general. But it was hilarious. I thought.
I don't think
I was crying. I was literally, I dabbed my shirt with my tears. I was crying that much. It was hilarious.
I just spent the whole film
until it went off a cliff to the other tonal shift.
Yeah. Well, that's Tickled.
Even then, I was still.
It's fascinating. Definitely watch it.